Welcome to Does It Matter by Brainy Ballers, where we dissect the game with cutting-edge analytics to give you the upper hand. We analyze everything from hand sizes to average depth of targets to uncover hidden trends that no one else sees. Say goodbye to guesswork and hello to data-driven domination. Because here at Brainy Ballers, we don't just watch the game, we understand it. So get ready, it's podcast time.
Welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling a question you brought up, one that's super relevant for strategy buffs. Can a QB's rookie yards per game, their YPG, actually predict future fantasy football success? We've sifted through the sources you sent, mainly this big historical data analysis, to pull out the key stuff for you, the mission. See if there's a kind of secret code in those rookie numbers for finding the next fantasy star.
And what's really interesting is how they went about it. They looked at, the top 30 QBs every single year since 2003, and they lined up their fantasy finishes each year against their rookie YPG.
How do they define rookie YPG, though? That seems important.
Good question. It was the first season they started at least 5 games. Simple division. Total yards over games played.
Got it.
And crucially, they pulled those actual rookie seasons out of the future fantasy rankings.
So a bad rookie year wouldn't drag down their future average in this study.
Exactly. Or a monster rookie year wouldn't inflate it. It keeps the comparison cleaner, looking forward from that rookie benchmark.
Okay. All right. So let's jump in. Was there like an immediate aha moment in the data, something that popped out right away?
Oh, definitely. When they started averaging the rookie YPGs for different groups, say the guys finishing top 5 in fantasy versus the bottom 10, a really clear pattern emerged. In 18 out of 21 seasons analyzed, that's 85.7% of the time.
Wow, that's high.
The top 5 fantasy finishers had rookie YPGs that were the same or better than the guys finishing way down in the 21st to 30th spots.
Okay, so that's a pretty strong initial signal right there. Higher rookie YPG seems linked to higher future finishes, generally speaking.
Precisely. It immediately tells you there's something there.
So did they try to, nail down a specific number, a threshold?
Yeah, that was the next step. The goal was to find a sort of benchmark YPG figure that consistently pointed towards, high-level fantasy production later on.
How'd they do that?
They made this differences chart. Basically, subtracting the average rookie YPG of the bottom 10 finishers from the average of the top 10 year by year.
Okay.
And initially, that pointed towards hitting around 180 YPG as a rookie. That seemed to be where you started seeing a consistent link to top-tier performance.
180. So that was the first pass.
Yeah.
But I hear it got even more specific.
It did. Like any good analysis, they refined it. They dug a bit deeper. The number that really stood out after that deeper dive was 190 YPG.
190.
Quarterbacks hitting 190 or more in that first season, they showed up in the fantasy top 10 almost 29% more often than they showed up in the bottom 10.
Almost 30% increase. That's significant.
It is. So the really actionable number, drilling down into the refined data, seems to be looking for guys who hit 190 passing yards per game in that first season where they started at least 5 games.
Okay, that's concrete. You're saying this isn't just a gut feeling, it's statistically backed. How strong is that connection?
Right. They put a number on it using a Pearson correlation. It measures how strongly two things move together.
Okay.
They found a correlation of...
Do you want to start dominating your drafts? At BrainyBallers.com, we've researched every metric under the sun for you to find which ones are best linked to fantasy points. You can access hundreds of metrics to sharpen your scouting ability so you know which metrics matter and which are just noise. Stop guessing on which thresholds to look for within each metric. Big numbers can be misleading or irrelevant. Our Ultimate Athlete Blueprints reveal essential scouting metrics, their importance and benchmarks within each metric that help predict a player's probability of being a success or bust. Elevate your scouting ability with Brainy Ballers' Ultimate Athlete Blueprints today. Click the link in the description. Now back to the show.
0.228 between rookie YPG and future fantasy points.
And what does 0.228 mean in, practical terms? Is that good, bad, average?
Well, context helps. In studies like this, looking at elite athletes, anything over 0.1 is often seen as, noteworthy, something to pay attention to.
So 0.228 is definitely in that noteworthy zone.
It is. And get this. Something everyone agrees matters a lot, like a running back's draft capital.
Yeah, how high they were picked in the draft.
Right. That had a Pearson value of negative 0.234. So our rookie YPG finding at positive 0.228 is basically just as strong statistically, just pointing in the positive direction of her future success.
That's actually huge. It puts rookie YPG on par with, or even slightly above, something like draft capital in terms of its statistical signal, at least by that comparison.
In terms of the magnitude, yeah, it's a solid predictor.
But, the NFL changes. Offenses evolve. Passing games get emphasized differently. Did they look at whether this trend is, holding up over time? Is it still as strong now as it was back in the early 2000s?
That's a really important question. And yes, they did split the data, looked at the first decade versus the second.
Okay.
And interestingly, while the strength of that 186-plus YPG range seems to be slightly weakening in more recent years,
Okay.
it absolutely still holds significant predictive power. It hasn't disappeared. Rookie YPG is still a very relevant factor, even with today's offenses.
Good to know. So, wrapping this deep dive up then, the big takeaway seems pretty clear.
Yeah, I think so.
The analysis really suggests that a quarterback's passing yards per game in their first real season, it's a genuine predictor, and that threshold, around 190 YPG, or more specifically that 186-plus number, hitting that significantly boosts a QB's odds of landing in the fantasy top 10 down the road.
Exactly. It's a data point you should definitely consider in your evaluations. But it also raises a question for you to think about.
Go on.
As football keeps changing, more passing, different schemes, what other early signs, what other metrics might pop up alongside rookie YPG, or maybe even become more important?
Yeah. What's the next predictive stat hiding in plain sight?
It's always a puzzle, right? Always something new to look for.